Aloha, guys. This is Dr. Steve again. This is chapter 13, lucky number 13, on web promotion from the Web Development Design Foundations with HTML5 textbook. All about web promotion. Okay, we've gotten this website up. Now what, right? So we're going to look at commonly used search engines, describe the components of a search engine, talk about designing web pages that are friendly to search engines. I'll direct you to the website for inclusion of a search engine or a search directory, monitoring your listing, describing promotion activities, and even something called an iframe. Many people have thought it's dead. I want to tell you it is not dead. Okay, market share. Oh, surprise, surprise, Google. Right? Google's the big one there. You see it almost 78%. Bing, Baidu from China, and then Yahoo. All about market share. So if you want your site to be seen, you certainly have to get it into Google, right? Obviously. Um, Basically, search engines work through what are called robots or spiders, right? They're collecting information it sees on the internet and then inserting that information into a database. That is the fundamental way this whole thing works. The program, the bot, walks through the internet. It's just always looking, through the internet and looking for websites and web pages and looking for certain information on those web pages. It's looking for stuff like the titles, any kind of meta tags, some text in the headings, and hyperlinks. It's in the catalogs, all that basically. And each search engine has its own kind of algorithm as how it ranks the information it finds. So basically, all this stuff goes into a huge database. And we have what's called then search engine optimization to make sure that your site appears towards the top of the list, right? That's what you want to do. Everybody uses different kinds of search forms. Just having that form on your page does not make it functional. However, you can go very easily to the Google site and pick up the code. It's freely available for making your search box work and function. One of the main things you want to do, and there's a whole area in this industry called search engine optimization. You want to make sure you use the appropriate keywords and have the appropriate links so that your site can appear towards the top. That's the whole idea here, because most of the time people don't scroll down, right? How far do you look when you do a search? Probably not too far. So it's looking for stuff like link popularity. It does things sometimes in alphabetical order. You'll see there are paid advertisements in there, right? Yeah, they don't. Maybe they change the color. Maybe they have a little word that says ad. Maybe not. Try to fool you a little bit. So it looks for, again, terms and phrases that people use when searching the site. When you do your own keywords, these are meta tags, right? You should also always include common misspellings, right? If you're doing a site on glasses, misspell the word glasses, leave out an S or something and see what happens. Because sometimes people misspell the words, but you still want your site to appear regardless of their spelling prowess. Okay, some description, not too long, is generally helpful. That's commonly done in a meta tag. It looks like this, meta name description. Here's an example here. Acme Design. As I mentioned earlier, there's a whole field called search engine optimizations, SEO. People make money just doing this. Or a number of companies, they do search engine optimization. And it's well worth the company's money to pay somebody to do this when they know what they're doing. Sometimes they do linking, sometimes they do like I said, the keywords, sometimes page layout, making sure the multimedia is configured correctly. All these things help SEO. They usually somebody does SEO, make sure the code is all valid. They'll do HTML validation, CSS validation, and make sure the site follows web design best practices and all those good things that we're learning in this class, right? When you try to get your site listed in a search engine, you should kind of wait till the site is finished. Under construction sites are not useful. You can go easily, you can search under Google Site Submit and find the place where you can add your URL. I'm sure the same thing is true with Bing, even though I've never used it. Follow the directions, fill out the forms, do all the authorizations it requires. It's not instant. It might take a little while, but it should not take too long. And of course, if people want to pay money, you can always use Google AdWords, right? You pay Google money. This is how they've became as big as they are. They collect money, right? Google AdWords, and then your site will appear towards the top. And there are other ways of doing this as well. Whether or not you're in an app or on a website or whatever, you can do these kind of things like cost per click. You can get a penny or a tenth of a penny, whatever. Somebody clicks on your link. Cost per impressions, click-through rates. These sort of things are really common when you start getting into the SEO field. And if you're concerned about monetizing things, whether it is an app that you create or a full-on website that you're going to access via a computer or not. Sometimes people like to have their whole site mapped out. I think it's a good idea, just so you have a clear idea of what's out there. It also helps the end user, because sometimes they don't want to click through all these different links, and to show them where the information is that they're looking for, and they're usually a little bit happier. Okay. At this point, you should know a little bit about the components of a search engine, the purpose of the description tag, and whether or not it's beneficial for a business to pay for preferential listings. I say it depends upon the business. Okay, you should always be monitoring things, right? You want to know what how many people are accessing your site, so you want to have some sort of a counter. You want to know click-through. What site did a person come from before they visited your site? And you can get that kind of stuff through site logs. You can look through sites like linkpopularity.com and get an idea. There's also from your server administrator, you can get information from him or her as well. Social media, of course, is you can optimize this as well. Not a big surprise whether or not you're using Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is. It does these analytics for you. Other ways of promoting your website, QR codes, affiliate programs, banner ads. You can do banner exchanges. Reciprocal link agreements, I think, are always have been around for quite a while and always useful. Newsletters and various other sticky site features are things that keep people there. And of course, personal recommendations. Other kinds of traditional things, leveraging whatever you have. I would highly recommend you try. QR codes, which were really popular a couple of years ago, are a little bit less popular now, but you see them in magazines and in on merchandise and stuff. It's still very useful. It doesn't cost anything to create this. I would recommend you use it. Okay, you should be able to know about different kinds of search engines at this point. There are a lot of activities you can do. These are some good practice activities, if you like. Okay, I'm going to move on here. Inline frame, I think is really the coding thing you want to get out of this chapter. Iframes, inline frame, floating frame, a number of different names. Are very useful. You see the code right here. It's iframe. You need a source, a beginning source. In this case, it's trillium.html. Then a name. You need to give this iframe a name. Here we call it a flower. And as soon as you do that, then you can actually target that iframe by using the name. Well, I'm sorry, actually an ID, actually name and ID, and you can target it by including other information. And I'll show you that actually in the second lecture. It makes it kind of nice, and this is how you would use the reciprocal banner ads as well. And of course, you can do things like YouTube. You can, if you go to YouTube, it gives you the code for sticking their videos into an iframe. Now, sticking a video into an iframe is different from using the video tag. By the way, this is using the iframe tag. So if somebody wants you to use the video tag, like me, don't use the iframe. It's two different things. And that's kind of about it. And we'll take a look at the iframe stuff in the second lecture. Aloha.